Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Right. So, my name is Llyoce Amakye Marfoh, and I say the top 3 adjectives. No, maybe 5. That really describe me. First, to be faith-filled, purposeful, and creative. And then the last 2, I am a dreamer, and I aspire to be a world changer.
Yeah. Well, I struggled a bit with defining who I am.
Right.
And I realized that it took me going deeper into the Word of God to see how He sees me and to ask for wisdom to understand it.
Right.
So at this point in my life, I'm still developing a culture where I come to understand that
Right.
whatever I can give to the world, I do. So I mostly emphasize on authenticity.
Okay.
Yeah, creativity, and then influence, using whatever I have to create influence. How about you?
With me, I think if you ask me this question, you're putting me like in a very tight spot.
Okay.
I feel like I'm still in the process of finding out who I am, and I'm actually it's a journey.
Right.
Like people find themselves quickly. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm heading. But I find that there's so many bumps in the road that I'm hitting, and it's bringing out so many things, and I'm realizing that, girl,
It's not easy.
it's not easy,
I know.
Yeah.
and there's so many things. The future is so bright, and so at this point, defining me is like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
should I say that on your journey of discovery,
Yes.
what have you found so far? Because sometimes a bump introduces you to a new part of you that, a part of you that existed but you have never known.
yeah.
So what have you found so far?
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I started Urban Lines in the COVID period. So it was something that I learned in school.
Right.
It was just one of classes that you just go and have fun. But I'm always
think you're making anything out.
I'm always the kind of person who is looking for what I can do with my hands.
Right.
So I saw that and I was like, I love the process, like everything about it. The patterns, the colors you can put together, it was, and so I started doing it in my apartment in school.
Okay.
But then it was not so conducive to continue doing that. So I sort of stopped because it was not working at that time. But I realized that I was able to even pick it up. Like it was still something I was looking to do, and I picked it up in the moment where a lot of people were even like at their lowest, because that was COVID. People
Right.
had lost their jobs.
Yeah.
People were at home. People were depressed. I
Yeah.
think it gave me something to look forward to when I wake up in the morning.
Like that's the verge of hope.
Yeah, it did. And so that's one bump that I hit, and it's like, it's not so bad. You're
Right,
learning
right,
from
yes.
it.
Yeah.
You're really learning from it.
It kind of brings me to the verse in Romans 8:28 that says all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. And you realize that purpose for me, I mean, putting all my experiences together to this point, I realized that purpose is the whole journey. Okay, until you come to it's like a pre-purpose journey before you come to the destination where He wants you to really be before you carry out. Like there's
But is
this,
there ever a destination?
there is a destination. That's what I can say
You
for
can
now.
say for now.
I believe there is. So let's just say that you've been purposed to be probably an academician or a professor to touch the lives of 50,000 students. Okay, I'm just citing an example. If that is like the main purpose, I mean, touching their lives is like touching their lives in all angles and spheres of their lives. Because whatever you put out there, each one will take it and use it in their own way. But it will start with you coming out of your mother's womb. It will start with you going through ups and downs. And what I realized about purpose is that to touch the lives of those people, to do whatever it is, you have to be in their shoes. And God uses that long journey, all your years, to prepare you for it. like I said the last time, if you've never been hungry, you cannot feed people because, they'll at some point it will be difficult for you to provide for them. Probably you started feeding them, but at some point it's going to be difficult for you to provide for them. In the difficulty, what keeps you going?
Yeah.
So without passion, for me, purpose is nothing.
Like
You get
that.
it. You have
The
to.
whole
So
passion
yes,
thing,
passion
yeah.
and purpose. Like you have to, because at some point you would face so many bumps, challenges, and all, and you
But
want
what
to
if
give up.
passion fails you?
What if passion fails you?
Yeah, because I feel like passion is it's not a one-way thing.
Yeah.
Right? How
At
do you
each
mean?
at each point in time, there's something that you're particularly passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
something that you're
Something has
focusing,
your
has your
attention
attention
at
at
the
that
time,
point in
yeah.
time. So for me, I've struggled with that a bit. One thing I face a lot is anxiety.
Right.
Why do I say anxiety? Because I realize that there are so many things I want to achieve, but then when, how, like how soon, how fast. So you realize that I do a lot of things. I have the clothing line, I have the book, I have that, and people often ask me like, how do you do it? And I don't have any answer because at any point in time, like you said, when the passion pops up, the grace comes with it
Right.
for you to do it. Like she was saying, she started the urban lines. She started it. She had the motivation to do it. My motivation failed.
Right.
So what happened when the bump in the road came, like you said, then she picked it up again. And this time, not with a motivation, but with purpose, to touch someone's life with it. And I feel like that's what we should focus on.
Right.
That God, what's the path? Show me the path so that I walk in it. Because there's going to be so many ups and downs along, and what keeps you going.
Okay.
I mean, that's what drives me or drove me to write the book. And over the past few months, I've visited some high schools and spoken to certain students
right.
about, and you realize that in the course of the conversation, they are confused. They are lost because we've made purpose to seem like some big thing.
But isn't it?
It is, but it's one step at a time.
Right.
For like, if my purpose was supposed to be to finish medical school in a course of 6 years. That's what I plan on doing. That's what I do at that time. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a medical doctor the whole of my life.
I beg to differ.
How?
So purpose is not you. I was just gonna ask that. What is purpose to you?
Yeah.
Purpose is not. What's the name of your brand again?
Urban Lines.
So purpose is not Urban Lines. Purpose is not Miss Potter or buying her brush. Those are fuels
Yeah.
to take you through your purpose.
Yeah.
So if your purpose, like I said, for example, is to touch 50,000 people's hearts before you leave planet Earth, right? Everything you do to get you to that point where you make that impact is all fuel. That's not your purpose. Purpose is what God has sent you down here to do, right? So the bumps, the highs, the lows, and all of that, those are all fuels. And how you, so probably you need money to feed them, and you feel like urban lines is like one of the things for you to make, and everything is money.
Yeah.
Everything is money,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I don't understand when Christians don't pray for money. That's a subject for another day.
That's
But-
it's a very delicate
I
topic.
know. But see, it's more like all these things are fuel. You get it. Anything you find your hands to do and all, definitely they fall in the lines of gifts and talents. Those are the fuels to
That's
drive
exactly
you.
what I was thinking.
You get
Yeah.
it. So purpose will direct you, will guide you
I
as
feel like
what
everybody has made purpose to seem like it's your gift and talent. That's what I want to do.
No, those
Yeah.
are just the
So that's where I was
fuel.
coming
But
to.
someone would ask you, like, how do I even find what my purpose is? You guys are talking about purpose.
Purpose.
But
How do you
like,
find it?
how do I find what my purpose actually is?
You go to the one who made you. He has your blueprint, right? Okay. So he has, today as we sit here, I believe strongly that it was ordained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God has already ordained it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if we ask you, you would have your story as to how you were led here.
Exactly.
You would have saying, I have my own story, right? So he orders your steps. But how does he order your step? God is a gentleman. He won't push himself on you. So while you're making your decisions, your flaws coming through and everything, one thing you must have at the back of your mind, in order to avoid setting mistakes and delays in life, and even on your purpose, because you know your purpose is connected to so many people,
Exactly.
so many destinies depend on you. In order to not waste your time and waste their time, you go back to the giver. And that's where people get it wrong. They feel like if they go to God, it will slow them down.
Exactly.
When you go to God, it fastens your pace.
Yeah.
It saves you a lot of heartbreak.
Have you heard the thing where people say, like you're saying, people think when you go to God, it's slower because God, when you go to a malam and you want money, you're going to get the money like the next day or something like that. But when you go to God, He's going to tell you, okay, He'll probably give you an idea,
Right.
business idea,
for you,
and that's where your money is going to come from. And that money, you would get it in bits.
Right.
But we're in a generation where everybody wants
quick money.
quick money. I need $10,000 today. I want to do something.
I you know where my focus is? I think quick money comes from God. One thing I learned recently when I was having my quiet time with God was that His presence brings prosperity.
Yeah.
What did He tell Joshua in Joshua 1:9 down? He said, meditate on this law and it will make you prosperous and it will bring you good success. It means there is success and there is good success. You get it? So you find it in His presence. And His presence is word. What does is it Matthew 6:33 say? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and after that every other thing will be added onto you. His righteousness is you living right. You just being obedient to everything God says you should
But
be.
I have a question. How do we move people from, in this era of social media, in this, era that I find myself in, how do we move people from thinking that starting a business is living a purpose? How do we move people from thinking that, okay, me being out there is me living in my purpose? How do we move people from thinking that, okay, quick money is enough, like, I'll get there eventually? Like, how do we do this? We are women sitting here, and we all have an aim to create impact, to make impact for a greater purpose. So then how do we do this? I mean, we are talking about how do we achieve this?
You want to speak?
I think, honestly, you always just have to go back to God. I mean, if you believe in God, that's the number one thing for you.
That's for someone who doesn't believe. So how do we minister to those who don't?
I mean, with your life.
Yeah,
First
your
off,
example.
With your example. Like,
Yeah, the Bible someone can read.
I actually want to get to the point where someone will see me and say, is this girl really somebody who follows God like that? And then be like, I want to be like her. I want to know why she does. She's like, she's prosperous, but she's still following God. Why? What's the reason? Like, I really want to get to that point.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
And
I do agree.
That should be enough to minister to people. Because I have a spiritual father I look up to, Wati, and when you see this man, like, he's all guyed up. When I say guyed up, like, you've been wearing his shorts, he's like looking good, dapper, and he drives like a really nice BM as well. It's like, God can do this for you. He will put you in a good position and you still praise God. Why? Like, I want to taste it. I want to taste that as well.
It all comes back to the presence.
Yeah.
I believe that most people, per observation, most people do not know how to worship on their own. They only do when they are together in a group or in church. But then, per my personal experience, I realized that it's in the presence. While you're worshiping Him, ideas are dropping. He's showing you, and that's the blueprint I was talking about. This is how you go about it. There are several times I have gone into a trance, and then I have a design of an accessory. I wake up quickly, and then I take my notebook. So you always find me writing. You get it. So He will show you everything.
I have a testimony to that.
You have a testimony to that effect.
So Combo Cosmetics.
Right.
I don't know where it came from. Honestly, I was sleeping one day. I had a call with a business strategist, and she was like, "Oh, you should consider this." I'm like, "Okay."
In a dream?
No, like an actual.
Okay.
So that time I was being by Pomaa. Then I sleep. The name, the design. Like, if you look at the lipstick design, it's my own African print. Like how it's supposed to be with the O and the A.
I can relate.
Yeah. And there are so many times that if I'm in my room alone and the Spirit of the Lord comes over me, there are certain ideas that I write. Like, for instance, the book I wrote.
Right.
It was during COVID, and at every 12 midnight, like, I can't sleep. So anytime, I don't know if anyone else can relate, but when something is laid upon your heart, you can't sleep.
Preach.
Yeah, you have to fulfill it. Like, so I wake up for 4 hours straight, and this 4 hours, it's not like I'm writing the whole 4 hours. 2 hours of it I'm worshiping. The other 2 I'm writing in bits. And I realize that it's something that you get over time.
Right.
You get to understand. So that's a testimony I can add to what you're saying.
So it's a personal move. I always tell people that the easiest way to discover your purpose, what you're here on earth for, that's purpose. The easiest way to get that is to find yourself in God. When you do that, you realize that everything would fall into place. Even though it's not going to be easy because you face challenges and all, those are just sent to make you stronger. But you will find it, and in that place, you will find peace.
So is it safe to say that purpose is displaying God's glory for mankind to follow in various ways? Ultimately, for God's glory.
Yes,
everything is for
definitely.
God's glory.
Definitely.
And also, it's your purpose. Displaying it in that manner is going to preach to the unbelievers.
Right, because that would be your life.
Definitely,
Join
yeah.
them.
Right.
So all to the glory of God.
Yeah.
Right, ladies. It was great talking to you.